Travel to Japan has become very popular, but the rapid increase in the number of tourists has caused some troubles. As a Japanese living in Japan, I would like them to enjoy their trip home since they have come all the way to Japan. In this video, I would like to share the current situation of foreign tourists to Japan and examples of actual troubles. I would also like to share tips on how to avoid trouble. Japan is said to be a relatively safe country, but the possibility of not getting into trouble is not 100%. I hope this video will be helpful for your travel risk management. I hope your trip to Japan will be a wonderful time. Let's get started. As of May 2024, the number of foreign tourists continues to increase year after year, and we Japanese are honestly surprised at this. To give you some concrete data, the number was 5 million per year in 2003, 10 million per year in 2013, 25 million in 2023, and an estimated 33 million in 2024. And in 2024, the estimated number is 33 million. This is an increase of more than 6 times in about 20 years. Knowing these figures, you can understand why we Japanese are puzzled. This is partly due to Japan's policy of encouraging travel to Japan, but even so, we feel that this is an extraordinary rate of increase. In addition, the depreciation of the yen and Japan's long history of deflation may have contributed to the perception that prices are lower than in other countries. In addition, Japanese food has become well known in many countries since it was registered as a UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage in 2013. Another reason may be that subcultures such as anime, manga, and video games have been popular in foreign countries for many years, which has increased the awareness of Japan. Originally, Japan was home to world-class companies such as Toyota Motor Corporation and Sony Corporation. This has increased the recognition of Japanese products and has led to a thriving exchange of business aspects and products. However, over the past 20 years, I believe that the increase in interest in Japanese lifestyle and subculture has led to an increase in the number of foreigners who want to actually experience Japan, which has been a major factor in the increase in foreign tourists. As we reported earlier, the sentiment among the Japanese is that they are confused by the rapid increase in the number of travelers. Rather than being negative about the increase in travelers, the honest feeling is that they are confused and unable to keep up with the situation. This year, there was news that the Japanese word omotenashi has been officially registered as an English word. We Japanese have a desire to provide omotenashi to our travelers, but the environment and our thoughts have not caught up. However, the environment and our thinking have not caught up with us. I am sorry to sound like an excuse, but Japan is originally an island nation with a single ethnic group. There is very little interaction with foreigners who speak different languages and have different ways of thinking. Unfortunately, there are some foreign tourists who cause trouble in Japan. Here are 4 examples of actual problems that have occurred to foreign tourists in Japan. Case 1. Appetizer. The first item we will introduce is the appetizer. In Japanese, it is called otoshi. Otoshi is a basic system mainly found in Japanese pubs. It is often a rule that is set at the time of seating. A small dish is served even if you do not order it, and you have to pay about 300 to 500 yen per person. Some tourists do not like the idea of having to pay for something they did not order. You will find restaurants in some foreign countries that have a table charge, and you can think of it as something similar to that. In Japanese izakaya, it is a set system and a rule that all Japanese understand as a normal system. It is necessary to know this beforehand to avoid trouble, and we hope you will understand this. Case 2. Fraud by foreigners against foreigners. Japan is said to be a relatively safe travel destination in the world. Unfortunately, however, it is also true that there are scams targeting foreign tourists. The following are actual cases that have been reported in the Japanese news. The first is a problem at a restaurant in a downtown area at night. Specifically, a foreigner in Japan approached a foreign tourist and invited him to dinner. There, they get the tourists drunk and rob them of their wallets. Another case is that of Asian foreigners selling unrelated goods at shrines. Some Japanese shrines have stores selling official goods. However, there was an incident in which Asian foreigners, mixed in with tourists, were selling goods that had nothing to do with the shrine for a high price, pretending that they were the shrine's goods. When purchasing goods from shrines, etc., please do not buy them from stores other than those of the shrine. There are not many shrines in Japan that sell goods directly outside of their stores, so this is a problem that Japanese tourists will never experience. Unfortunately, both of these are clearly fraudulent acts by foreigners targeting foreign tourists. Case 3. Trouble caused by language differences. This can be the case in a variety of situations. One of the most important situations that you need to be aware of is related to hotel and car rental contracts. Hotel contracts are something that everyone does, but there are some problems that arise due to incorrect indications on websites for foreigners and differences in thinking. In particular, there are tourists who have experienced differences in rates, such as whether the rate is for 2 people in one room or for 1 person. Another problem is the rental car contract. The contract is a detailed agreement, but sometimes there are problems due to inadequate translation or insufficient understanding of the details of the contract. Car rental companies are gradually taking countermeasures, but if you have the opportunity to use a rental car, we recommend that you check the details of the rental contract. Case 4. Trouble with a hospital. Sadly, it is not impossible to get sick or have an accident while traveling. For foreigners who do not speak Japanese, going to a hospital in a travel destination can be quite stressful. If you are in a large city, there is a good chance that English will be understood at the hospital there. However, it is unlikely that they will have staff who speak languages other than English, such as Chinese or French. Also, if you are not in a large city, it is not likely that even English will be understood. One can only imagine how difficult it would be to not be able to communicate well when you are not feeling well. Of course, some hospitals are taking measures such as the introduction of translation apps so that they can provide multilingual services, but these measures are still insufficient. Furthermore, there seem to be some problems with payment. Japan has a strong culture of paying in cash. For this reason, credit cards are not always accepted in small hospitals. Larger hospitals often accept credit cards, but there are 2 problems. One is that not many credit cards are accepted. If you are from Europe or the US, you probably use Visa or Amex cards, and if you use Visa, you are likely to be able to use them. However, Amex may not be accepted. In particular, some Asian travelers do not seem to have them. Furthermore, there have been cases where travelers have used their credit cards so much during their trip that they could not use them because they had reached their credit limit. Travelers should make sure to have a Visa card that they can afford to pay with. If it were a world-famous tourist destination such as France or Spain, for example, there would be a lot of information available, and it would be easy to get information from people who have been there. However, as I mentioned at the beginning, it has not been long since interest in travel to Japan increased. Therefore, the lack of information about travel to Japan may be one of the causes of some of the problems. The common thread that runs through many of the problems introduced in this video is language and cultural differences, and a lack of mutual understanding. As mentioned in the beginning of the video, language barriers are still not fully addressed. In Japan, we are making efforts to provide multilingual services through various methods. In addition, I believe that problems caused by cultural differences, such as serving food, can be reduced by learning information in advance from this video and websites for travelers. It may seem a little troublesome, but cooperation is necessary to make the trip better for both the traveler and Japan. How was this video? I don't like to give out too much negative information, but I shared it in the video because I want everyone to be prepared to make your trip to Japan even better and more memorable. I would be happy if you could share information in the comments section, even if you unfortunately ran into trouble or information about problems you encountered during your trip to Japan. I will continue to share information to help many people enjoy their trip to Japan, so please support me. See you again in the next video.